As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse. What up, Joe, and welcome back to another episode, another brand spanking new episode. Is it okay to say spanking? I'm going to keep saying spanking. Bring out the Prodigy. Is that right? Yeah. Fan of the Land reference. Brand spanking new fire starting episode of Order of the Blazing Horse, the only Detroit Pistons podcast based on a mystical prophecy. Woo! Tis the season. Tis the spooky.
Certainly the spooky season. Yeah.
Your jack-o'-lanterns know. Hope you had some Hooper jack-o'-lanterns out there. I am one of those prophets from this order. Touched by a horse, not in an appropriate way, by a very appropriate, very consensual, very ethereal way. Harry Morrow's out here in the Ypsilanti area, joined as always by my co-host, my co-prof. He's the boss. He's got the most.
I'm Mickey Jacobs. Glad to be with you, Harry. Glad to be spending my spooky first week of NBA season with you. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm having a wonderful Devil's Night so far. The sun just went down. My chickens.
You gonna get up to some mischief?
Maybe a little bit of mischief. I don't know. It seems when I was young, causing mischief and vandalism was very fun. And now that I'm older and a homeowner and the world sucks, I'm like, if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna go repair something on someone's house as opposed to like.
That's kind of punk rock, though. That's kind of like, you know, subverting the devil. Like, yeah, like this devil is like in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Instead of CBGBs, I'm more CBTVs. That's the TV for Tom. Oh, BV. I should have said CBVV. BVs for Bob Vila, like the home fixer, right?
Okay.
Anybody remember him?
Okay.
A little bit of a push, but whatever. We're not here to discuss this old house. We're not here to discuss any of that, stuff or any of the spooky stuff. This is a Detroit Pistons podcast, and the Pistons are off to a better start than I think the fan base is giving him credit for, ourselves included.
Yeah.
If you only knew the chats between me and Mickey during the games, you would have no idea how it is. But I would have a better idea of what your fandom was if you liked and subscribed.
We want to know.
Podcast. Why not? We're at 92s. We want to get up to triple figgies, baby. Get us up there. It's free. Put on the alerts. We got so much fun stuff going on. I guarantee you no other Pistons podcast is pulling out what we're pulling out today.
Yeah.
Ain't happening.
Yeah.
And it ain't.
And you're going to have to stay tuned to find out.
That's right.
So buckle up.
A little trick or tease, if you please.
Ooh.
Or if you don't, please. And, you know, like we were saying, the Pistons are off to a better start than people are talking about. I've been fired up in negative and positive ways. You know, it's if you've only watched the first quarter of every Pistons game, you think they're the worst team in the NBA. But if you look at the record, they're 3-2. They got victories over the title hopeful Houston Rockets, the last year title hopeful and kind of depleted this year Boston Celtics, who are still feisty and who did just lay a 20-point smackdown on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then last night, the Pistons laid a 20-point smackdown on the darlings of the NBA in the preseason, the Orlando Magic. Unstoppable once they got Des Bane. Oh, they've solved all their three-point shooting issues. They got Des Bane. Franz is going to shoot it better. Tyus Jones. He's good. Is that right? Did I get the name right? Yeah, he's good. He's going to shoot the three. How's that offense looking in Orlando?
Not so great. And I got to tell you, the defense doesn't look super hot either.
No.
And I will hand up. I was like pretty shook by the Magic's off-season moves. They gave us fits last season in some of those meetings. I gotta tell you, like it's week 1. They look bad, but it's an adjustment period. I don't really know what's going on coaching wise. I think they've still got some really good pieces and have a lot of talent. I like Anthony Black. Tristan Da Silva looks good. The Paulo Franz thing, like probably they'll figure it out. I love a Jones bro. I gotta say I do. I stand a Jones bro, and Desmond Bane is not going to keep shooting 25% from 3 for the rest of the season. So we'll see, but I was really glad to see the Pistons have the first. Was this like the first like convincing dub? Like the first like really convincing win we had? I forget how much they beat the Celtics by, like 6 or something.
Yeah, the Celtics game got close to the end, and then they like kind of spaced it out a little bit. And I would argue, so like the Celtics game, I think was their closest win as far as like how the gameplay went. I would argue that the Houston game, even though it was close, the Pistons were more in control for more during that game, and they were more shorthanded in that game. So while the score was closer, that felt like the Pistons were even better than Houston in that matchup. But in this Orlando game, I think, yeah, you're right. It's about getting gelled, you know, like just getting that team chemistry, figuring out what works well together, figuring out what your places are. That's a Pistons problem too. That's an Atlanta Hawks problem as well. And Atlanta is like another team that was projected to be higher than the Pistons. And
when you shuffle the deck, you might not get a great hand the first couple times. You know, you gotta keep playing. You gotta keep chipping away. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I for sure thought that the Magic would get out to a better start than they did. I certainly didn't expect that the Chicago Bulls would be undefeated in their first 4 games. So, you know, it's early days. It's early. They do look good. And they don't even have Kobe White back. So impressive. Modest is impressive. You know, we watch other teams. We like hoops. Yeah. We like hoops, but mostly we like the Pistons. So we should probably talk about that.
Mickey did have me watching the Pacers the other day. He had me watching the Pacers on an off day.
And they're not even doing great.
I think they're winless at the moment.
They are.
They're a little bit of bottom feeders, but that was like a little bit to be expected. Regardless, let us talk more about the Pistons, and specifically, so like this Pistons Orlando Magic game. I think the reason that they dominated this game so handily compared to how they've been playing the other games was this felt like the first game all season where teams were not throwing the full court press on the Pistons from jump or like at all. Did the Magic do that at all?
I don't really think they did. And, you know, like Suggs, he's out now after that game, but like he was healthy, and he and Black are supposed to kind of be their like dogged defenders. It didn't feel quite as like trappy as like the Celtics game even, you know, like the Celtics game was very trappy. I think they did a really good job on Cade and blitzed him and forced him to pass to someone who doesn't want to shoot, you know, like, so that's really tough is when he gets doubled and kicks out to somebody in the corner or passes out to somebody who, you know, is indecisive with it.
I mean, just look at Cade's turnovers in the first 4 games. It was 3, 6, 8, and 5. And then against the Magic,
goose egg, baby.
0. Oh, he put the O in the Orlando Magic for like a big old 0.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about that performance right now. 30 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 0 turnovers, 5 free throw attempts. Not the whole game.
I don't know. I don't understand that. It should have been a 40 ball given the amount of times that he was whacked. And then how about when he got smacked in the face?
Oh my God.
On that drive. Whatever you can say was incidental. If a Piston does that, it's free throws, and they're going to look at it for a flagrant. Crazy.
It historically speaking, this season at least, that is true. The Pistons are the second most foul giving. They have the second most personal fouls in the league, ahead of only the Indiana Pacers. But it's by a lot. The stat itself is 29th in personal fouls, 28.2 a game. The fouls are out of control. And before we focus on the Pistons here, Mickey, do you have any thoughts on the fouls league wide in the NBA? I put the stat on our Blue Sky that Austin Reeves, in not his last game, but the 2 games previous, combined had more free throws attempted, 36, than Cade Cunningham has all season. But 36 is still an insane number for a 2-game span, just in general. Keontae George for the Utah Jazz, I believe, had 15 free throws the other night. Like, is this normal? Is this good basketball? Are you enjoying this?
I'm not, and I think like when you like people will say, oh well, Austin Reeves has a ton of usage. So does Cade. Cade drives. Everyone's like Shea drives a ton. He drives more than anybody. So does Cade. Like the disparity and the favoritism is nuts, and I don't like really think any player should be getting 20 free throws a night for like forget like foul baity ethical hooper reasons. It just makes these games so long. There should not be 3+ hour games. I feel like I'm watching a PTA movie. It's crazy. It's one free throw after another. And I still haven't seen that movie, but I know it's long, and I just it's not like the product I want to see, and I really think Silver's League is trying to just like pump up the amount of 50-point games that players have. And like, look, there have been weeks in seasons where just like everybody's popping off. I remember the week Sadiq Bey got a 50 ball, like 5 other guys got one. But like to start the season, and like, look, I understand there's been some double OT games, like that's going to happen, but it's too much. And I don't think that's like the way to, I hate to see, I'm biased. I'm a Pistons fan. What do you know? But I
sick T, by the way, bro.
Thank you.
Sick T.
Thank you. I was fishing for that compliment. But I just hate to see defense penalized. And like you could argue that the Pistons foul too much because this isn't really new. Like that we were towards the bottom of the league last season too in terms of fouls committed. But just like that's not the place to crack down. I don't think like foul baiting is already like one of the most frustrating parts of the game, the modern game. And what I'm seeing with Austin Reeves and with like Franz in that Magic game is something that I thought they wanted to do away with, which is the jumping into a defender and then like throwing up a non like shot attempt. And like, I say this, like, I don't want the Pistons to start doing that just because like that's seen as like what you got to do to win games. Like because there's so many articles that are just like, it's a strategy
it's
or
a
like
skill set. Skill set. Like right. It's like skill. When people say it's a skill to me, that's your way of admitting like, I know this sucks, but my player's doing it and he's getting points. So
cope. That's what they say on cope.
Copium. Cope. The stoppages are boring. That's not a highlight reel. Like it just it blows. It really blows. And you know why I know defense rules? Cade Cunningham's block on Jalen Suggs was number 4 on Bows NBA TV top 10 plays. I believe the term he used was nothing but pumpkin when he blocked him, which is so sick. And like, and defense is sick, dude. Yeah. Defense is awesome.
And by the way, defense wins championships. I mean, you could argue that foul baiting wins championships too.
It gets deep in the playoffs at least.
Whatever. Like I will say, like, such a signature game for Cade. Like, first of all, so good to see him just eliminate the turnovers. He seemed really deliberate, like both attacking and distributing. And you know what? The 3 ball has not been good to start the season, but kudos to him for just like really making that extra effort on the defensive end, because I think that's something that really sets him apart. And everyone talks about how Shea is such a good defender. And I think Bryce and Sam were talking about this, just how like, you know what, how, and no one's saying no. So what?
I was just pumping out the Game 3 podcast.
So got to.
Talking about,
Shea is a fine defender, but his starting 5 is pretty elite defensively. So when you look at who this tall guard is guarding, it's like probably the other team's worst offensive player. So maybe it's a little easier to pick their pocket. Maybe it's a little easier to make these plays. So I'm not taking anything away from Shea, but I'm just saying like that was an amazing game from Cade, and like good to see him find other ways to make impact when the long ball ain't hitting.
Let me ask you this: is Shea bodying up Paolo Banchero? No chance.
There's no way.
The way Cade plays,
because they have Lou Dort,
right?
And like Jay, just like a
J-Dub,
football body,
right?
Yeah.
And so like our best player, not that he was guarding Paolo the entire game. I think actually Tobias was doing that, and Tobias did a great job. Gotta give a shout out to Tobias. We'll get into this whole thing, but I know we're on like the fouls and like the defense and stuff. It's just I'm so happy that our hometown star player Cade Cunningham is not only a sick bucket getter with a great bag, not only an incredible distributor, like one of the best passers in the entire league, not only a good guy and a good father, but also a funny dude and an awesome defender. Like that's what more could you ask for? And a leader, like, and a true leader on top of it. It's so great to have him on the team. It's so great to have him on our Detroit team. As Asar Thompson would say in his 9 to 5 tribute that he wrote out that you shared with me.
Beautiful.
Defense. Detroit is all about defense. You take some of the identity out of the city and they stand for it. And that's friggin' sick.
Can we just like wax for like a brief second about like, this is a Pistons friendly environment. The Pistons are one of the coolest, if not, I think the coolest team to root for, just because they have a style of play that embodies the city. And, when you get the number 1 pick, like you're going to build, if they're as good as Cade is, you're going to build around them, and that you go with whatever sort of style of play works for that player. The fact that Cade fits that mold still and cares about that and is like willing to carry that torch is so cool. And it's just so cool to see them honor the system and sort of the ethic that's made the Pistons successful every other time. So like that's really cool. Teams change, generations change. The Pistons ethic has stayed the same, and that's really special.
It's very Motor City. It's very blue collar. If you're into sci-fi, it's very Red Rising, the red group. For my sci-fi people out there, Darrow. I'm sure Mark Carey in some way or shape or form is familiar with that. Shout out to Mark Carey. Great.
It's very Morlock. It's very
I love it. As you know, we constantly quote literature. It's just it's what happens. We haven't done any.
It's what the people want.
Yeah. with literacy dropping, we're bringing it to you in podcast form. I do want to talk about some Piston stats. We talked a little about Cade Cunningham. We talked about the fouls. But let's talk about some team specific stats. Mickey, the team is 3-2 right now. Where do you think they stand in the Eastern Conference?
Probably the 8th seed, but probably tied for like the 8th, 7th, and like I feel like there's a bunch of teams that are 3-2, right?
They're the 6th seed.
Okay.
Pistons are 6th seed. In first, Chicago 4-0, Philadelphia 4-0. It's insane. Chicago and Philadelphia are the 2 4-0 teams, and then after that, Miami is 3-1. So,
wow,
pretty impressed. Then Milwaukee,
early days,
3-1. Also, kind of crazy. Then Cleveland is 3-2, ahead of Detroit, 3-2. Detroit is ahead of who? The New York Knicks, ahead of the 2-2 Charlotte Hornets, and ahead of the 2-3 Atlanta.
Aren't we tied with the Knicks?
No, the Knicks are 2-2.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who do they play next?
Ooh, I don't know. Let me look real.
I can look too. I can also be a little self-sufficient.
It's all good. So the Knicks have what season are we on? Why
they got the Bulls? They
got the Bulls. They do got the Bulls. So
about to get smoked by Modest and Vooch, who cannot miss.
Insane. Even Giddey is making threes. It's crazy. Yeah. Your boy Trey Jones has been nuts this year so far.
Trey Jones. Who?
I was talking mad smack about Trey Jones, or mad whatever about him. I pulled the old Don Draper meme. I don't even think about you, but he's something else. So the Pistons are 6th in the East, and believe it or not, if they were in the West, they would be 6th in the West as well. Their record is not bad. They're like in the middle of the league, maybe the upper middle of the league, probably top 3rd power rankings as far as the NBA goes. As far as stats go for the team, 20th in 3-point percentage at 34.4. And a lot of that was helped
Sounds about right.
this last game. They're 6th in rebounding, which is cool. Sometimes watching the game, you're like, I can't believe we're getting out rebounded or anything like this, but they're 6th overall.
It was just the Bulls. It was just the Bulls game.
The Bulls, bro. 21st in turnovers. They're averaging 16.8 a game, which is bad. Straight up bad. Hopefully that'll change. First in blocks in the NBA, averaging 7.6. They're second in stocks. They're only behind the Portland Trailblazers, and that's because the Trailblazers are averaging 12.2 steals a game.
Well, you got Matisse Thybulle, you got Tumani Kamara, you got
Drew Holiday.
That's a
Donovan Clingan.
I haven't watched any Blazers, but that sounds like a fun starting lineup to watch.
I watched the Blazers Utah Jazz game yesterday because you know me, just following all those.
He's Lowry coded.
I am Lowry coded. By the way, Lowry's defense is not as bad as people made me believe. Like he's in the right position. He's huge. He had six stocks yesterday too. So
that's crazy.
It's my concerns about his defense dropped pretty significantly after watching. But Drew
what about your concerns about his value and the asking
price? That's going up. So we'll see how that all works out. And Drew Holiday is also a dog. He's playing 6th. Yeah. So Pistons are averaging 8.8 steals a game. So they're like right up there as far as stocks go. It's very close between those two defenses. We talked about the fouls. 29th in fouls, averaging 28.2 a game. They are somehow also 8th in fouls drawn. So if you're watching, the Pacers are even further up. Pacers are like, I don't know, 6th or something, maybe 4th in fouls drawn. So if you're watching, when the Pistons and the Pacers play, it's going to be like a 5-hour game. It's just,
oh my God,
so many stoppages.
Well, you were talking about how JD has been getting to the line. Sar gets to the line a ton. Ron, Cade, not as much as he should, but it happens. I've seen it before.
Those guys are shooting like 80%. Like I think Ron's shooting like 85% from the line. JD shooting over 80%. I think 83.
Really nice.
Cade's 81. Duncan
Sar's been fine. Not like 61. Great, but fine.
Yeah.
From
good enough.
Lately.
He went 7 of 8 in the game against Boston or Cleveland. I think maybe again one of those two. But like he's making them. So it must have been against Boston because I think against Cleveland he only played so many minutes, like 13 or something like that. So here's the reason that the Pistons are 3-2 and that it seems all doom and gloomy is mainly because of the fouls, because of the turnovers, and because their first quarter is, and the shooting. The shooting is so trash, and especially in the first quarter. The first quarter shooting is abysmal, bro. So slow starts, shooting woes. Here's some first quarter stats. They are worst in the NBA in first quarter scoring, averaging 25.6 per game. They are worst in the NBA in a first quarter shooting percentage. Mickey, you want to take a guess what their shooting percentage from the floor is during the first quarter?
25%.
Oh, that's so much worse than it is.
Okay, wait. Is it 35%?
It's 36.6%.
Okay.
Which is the only team below 40% in the entire NBA. And this isn't a first quarter one. This is just
with a winning record.
With a winning record. That means they're coming back. We saw it in the Bulls game. They almost could you imagine if they won that Bulls game? They'd be 4-1 starting out with the worst first quarter in the NBA, again with big wins on top of it. Because again, Houston's a good team. Orlando was supposed to be a good team. Boston's a better team than they're given credit for. You come back, if you beat the Bulls, you're the only team to beat the Bulls. So like the record isn't that bad. Just the stats don't look that good. Here's the most damning one. The Pistons are 27th in the NBA in true shooting percentage. And they are just ahead of the New York Knicks.
That is crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Because I think of the New York Knicks and I have recent post-traumatic stress to attest to this is big-time shot makers.
Oh, yeah. But not right now. It ain't going that way right now. The other
but isn't Brunson putting up numbers?
He's putting up numbers, but Cat's having a little hard of a season. And like it's still tough. I mean, they just lost to Giannis in the butt. Like they got kind of stomped on in that little comeback. And
I mean, Giannis is good. Giannis is hot take. Giannis is very good at basketball. Good. Ryan Rollins has emerged a little bit as a capable guard, especially with KPJ out.
They Green too.
AJ Green.
AJ Green, he's a stroker.
Yep. He be stroking.
Stroking that dairy stick.
Mm-hmm.
Dairy bird, they call him, turning butter, if you will.
Smooth.
They call him Dairy Bird. I don't get the Dairy Bird reference, like the nickname at all. I'll just say it like Larry Bird was already white. So is he even whiter than Larry Bird? Is that what the joke is?
Is he from like Wisconsin or something?
I don't know.
Or is it just the? I don't know.
I'm gonna look into it. Let me know, chat. If you with me, why is he Dairy Bird? Like, I gotta know. And so the other teams that are ahead of are the Pacers and the Pelicans, and of course, like the Pelicans are an absolute disaster of a franchise, and the Pacers are feeling it right now, pretty hardcore. So it's wild that this team is playing not their best basketball, not even their most transition heavy basketball. I'd say like some of their best transition ball happened last night overall, and they're still 3-2. They're still winning games. They still have a winning record. And there's still a lot to like about this team. They haven't gotten comfortable yet. There's problems, but overall, it seems to be working out. So, Mickey, can you tell me why do I feel bad about this team so far?
Because it's not okay. First of all, I think we ended the regular season last season on such a high just because they were playing such together ball and they knew what each other wanted. They knew how to feed each other. They knew how to get each other the looks they wanted. I think also just there was the like high of having been so bad the season before and just having that chip on your shoulder of like, look, we're here now. Like, fuck you for underestimating us. But I think everyone's still sort of figuring it out. And like you're talking about the transition, like, the way and this is well documented on Pistons Pulse by now, but like we're figuring out how to get our only healthy shooter, real pure shooter, the looks he wants, because it's not the same way that Malik Beasley would get his. The transition game's hard, and I also just think the spacing is still a little tough, just because you'll see guys like Asar or Ron get the ball at the perimeter and hesitate because they go on.
Duncan Robinson too.
A lot of hesitation from the guy who should just be like letting it fly. I don't love a lot of the sidestep stuff. Or like I thought he was a motion shooter. I like it a lot better when it's catch and shoot. But with Asar and Ron, like they need to just make a decision, like either shoot or just rip. Just like put it on the deck and go, because this like hesitation just gives everyone a chance to rotate, and it like gums up the offense, and it makes what should be Kate assists like, weird ISO moments. So I don't know. I think it's everyone still figuring out how to play together with the new personnel. I think it's frustrating too, because we were talking off air about how, like, is Karras going to be on the team in 2 years? Is Duncan going to be on the team in 2 years? Is Tobias going to be in the starting lineup in 2 years? Probably not. So it's like a little frustrating to see, to have to reacclimate to a cast of vets that won't even be on the team or in their current roles in 2 years. So that's not necessarily the most fun thing to watch, but I think they are. We saw them do this last year where like sometimes Tobias wasn't hitting, sometimes Malik and Tim Hardaway Jr., like sometimes their shot wasn't falling and it was rough and we would turn the ball over a lot, but we still won with our grit and our defense. And is it harder than it has to be? Yeah. But like when you look at I think on paper, the Rockets should be a lot more talented than us. The Magic should be a lot more talented. And I'm talking about our healthy, like players 1 through 10. Like, I'm not saying, I think Cade is the best player on any of these teams, but we should not on paper be beating some of these teams. And we did kind of handily. So I don't know. I think it'll all be figured out. And I think it's important to remember that like, this is not our final form.
No, it's That's very true. And let's stop a little bit and talk about this shooting the ball situation. Because with all three of those players, it's for very different reasons that the hesitation is frustrating. Like the frustration part of it is always like, yeah, I mean, you have the shot, take the open shot. For Duncan, it's you're having trouble getting open looks. So when you get them, friggin' take them. Like you're gonna make a good amount of them, take it. And if you're hesitating, then we get into this thing where you like do your pump fake allow the defender to get there, move to the side, jump in the air, defender's able to recover, and you like throw it away, which we've seen him do a couple times, which we've seen Karis LeVert do as well. Like last night, Pistons have to be worse in the league at like about to shoot a three, you're stuck in air and then throwing the ball away. Sort of pop.
It's rough.
It sucks to watch.
And by the way, your teammate's not ready for it in that moment because it doesn't look in any way like you're about to pass the ball.
No.
I also think he hasn't played all that much. Injuries have been a thing. Karis isn't looking great.
No.
But I will say Javonte Green kind of is.
Javonte looks, and he's not hesitating. Like he's getting, when he gets the pass, he'll shoot the ball. I'm fine with it. He was 3 for 3 from three last night. Be confident. Take your three. I don't mind it. In all honesty, I'd almost rather him shoot the three than drive. I feel like his drives haven't looked too great, even though we do seem to clean them up a whole bunch. But like, shoot that three. So once again, if you're Duncan, if you have the open look, you have to take the open look because
Duncan, we know you're watching. So just listen to what Harry's saying right
now. Please do, my man. Like take that shot. We expect to take that, and like his shooting percentage is pretty good from deep so far. And the games when he's on have been kick ass. Like his hitting threes yesterday was huge. His hitting threes
absolutely huge.
Was huge. Like take those shots, make those shots. With Ron, you need to know before that ball gets to you what you're going to do, right? And I don't mind if he's taking 7 a game. What's he shooting from 3? It's got to be darn near.
It's like 33%. I think it's 33, which is like a pretty big leap from his rookie year. And just, 10%. I think even the ones that miss, the eye test looks good. And I know that, might mean nothing to you, like, but I like him taking these shots. And like, even if you don't believe in Ron's shot, who the fuck else is going to shoot?
Right.
Like right now with Sasser and like,
and Ivy
looks, like we need someone. And 33% is better than what Cade is shooting right now from deep.
Better than what Tobias is shooting from deep.
Better than so I'm all for it. I'm all for Ron. I think this is a good time for us to ride the wave of Ron Holland because like this is a big opportunity for him, and he is averaging 2.5 stocks. Jeez, he is impactful, and he's only playing like roundabout like 20 minutes, like a little 20 plus sometimes.
Double-digit points? Is that right? Is he averaging like 10, 12 points a game?
Yeah, about 11.5 points. In 21.5 minutes. Pretty efficient. 46.5 from the field, 33.3 from 3. That is growth. And
huge.
Yeah, and is he going to turn the ball over sometimes? Absolutely. He's still a second-year player who sometimes doesn't make the best decisions. I warts and all, baby. I love Ron Holland. I'm glad. I hate that Ivy's out. We really need him, and I think that this whole first five games has illustrated how much of the plan revolved around healthy Jaden Ivey. Which, just say what you will about that, but Ron Holland being the beneficiary of these minutes and this opportunity, I think is huge. And he just, not a hot take at all, screams Piston to me.
100%. And like, I think Ron Holland is playing well enough that when Ivy gets back, I don't think it's his minutes that are going to be diminishing.
I hope not.
Like,
I hope not.
Why would they? Like, he's proved right now. He's showing that he's playing better than, no shade to these guys, but Karis and Duncan in both their games. Right in the second unit, he's kind of the guy. I almost wish he was more aggressive in the second unit, but he's clearly like making an effort to pass it off a little bit, get those assists up, like do his role, not be too much. The lineups with Himisar and Stu and Himisar and Cade are like some of the most productive lineups that we have going forward. He's in some of these closeout or near end of game situations. So that's fine. It was so wild to me that he was in the garbage time play with like Bobby and Dennis and Chaz against the Magic. But I guess like just whatever, get his reps in, get whatever going
Wait, did
on.
Bobby play?
I think he got minutes. Like, am I crazy? Maybe Bobby didn't play last night.
I feel like they haven't even played. Hold on.
He honestly might not have. But
I feel like Bobby hasn't even been getting. He did not play against the Magic. He played 7 minutes against the Cavs in that blowout.
That's right.
And he scored 2 points and had 3 boards and 2 steals. So, but I mean, like these become G League games at that point. But I'm kind of like not that this is like I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but like I don't think you can expect Bobby Klintman to be contributing on this team in a material way this season.
Yeah,
like I think.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I was cutting you off.
No. That's end of thought.
I'm with you. I don't think it's gonna happen. To get back to Ron, I think that the turnovers and the mistakes he's making are so just like learning, like baby step learning things, just like growing pains, and not like, oh, this is a huge problem for him moving forward. That the more minutes he gets, the more he's going to get out of it, the better it's going to be. I do wish the rebounding was a little bit better, especially for someone of his size, but the offense and defense stuff is just, it's so exciting. And the reason I don't want him to hesitate on the shots is get as many up as you can. Just do that. And the reason I want him to make up his mind before he gets the shot off is, and this is the same with Asar, if you take off with steam as soon as you get the ball, you're going to have a lot better chance to getting to the rack and finishing. And we all know how good Ron is at finishing at the rim. It's sensational. Asar also been pretty good at finishing at the rim this year. Had a rough game last night, but like I was so happy to see him hit that 3, the go ahead 3, the take the lead 3, which was sick. The next shot was a little bit of a bummer, but like whatever. Paolo had a worse air ball from 3 a little bit later. So I'm happy he's taking those 3s. I want him to take some just so people have to think about it at least a little bit. Because sure.
Because that pump fake shouldn't be, but it could be deadly.
Right.
And
he's, as far as players exceeding expectations going into the season, there's 2 who are doing it, I guess so far, and it's Asar and Stu. And Stu has been maybe the best 3-point shooter on the team.
Stu has just been. I was waiting for this because Stu has just been unbelievable, and all he's done his entire tenure as a Piston, which has been rocky, to say the least, has just been get better, thrive, do whatever he's asked to do, and do it well, and just like continue to be the heart of this team. In that Asar write-up, it just talks about like what an amazing teammate he is, and just what a good guy he is, and like we've been saying it since last season, like. We all want to get more talented. We all want to like see what, like we want continuity beyond just like 2 to 4 young guys. But like Stu is not a part of any package. Stu is untouchable. As far as I'm concerned. Like,
yeah, I'd say there's one like 100% untouchable player.
Giannis.
That's Kate. But then the next question is like, if it comes down to Giannis, players that come into mind who would previously be untouchable, either one of like Asar or Stu, you'd have to at least consider. Not that I'd want to, but
I don't even want to entertain.
Right. And it's also, it's not happening. Right. So
it's
like,
not happening.
So who cares at that point? And it's certainly not both. You can't get rid of both. Right. And then and even Ron is kind of creeping into that conversation as far as guys who just have to stick around.
Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting on a 2-way level. And like, we've talked a lot about how we have guys who are really good one way,
right?
But we don't have a lot of like 2-way like killers, and Ron really has the potential to be that.
You got
4. Cade,
Ron,
Stu, Ron,
Asar.
Yeah, I mean, Asar is like working towards expanding the offensive. You're right. Asar, you could call him a 2-way guy. I mean, and his defense is just so fucking good that it's also like you take some of the air balls with a grain of salt because he is so worth it.
Just because he like air balls, what he's averaging as far as points, assists, rebound go? It has to be close to a triple-double, I imagine. Maybe like
it's like almost 14 points, 7.5 boards, 4 assists. But
4 assists is way lower than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the turnover numbers are like minuscule. I think it's like
only one every game.
That is so sick.
As
for
a ball
guy
handler.
who everybody's like, oh, I don't know about the handle. The handle looks a little loose. One turnover a game.
It's nuts. Like that's excellent. That's so exciting.
And these really like, I'm not even like, I wasn't paying attention to basketball like during these formative years, but everybody talks about Iguodala, you know, like young Iguodala, and like that feels like a pretty Iggy stat line actually. And just so exciting to see Asar ascend literally and figuratively, because he's just like there's a lot of games where he looks like our second best player right now.
I think I'm not 100% positive, but I think if you discount Ivy because he didn't play the whole season, that come playoff time, 14 points a game would have been the Pistons' third leading point getter last year.
I don't know if I should be happy or sad about
that. What I'm saying is like that's with a couple of low scoring Asar games. I think by the end of the year, you can expect his point per game to be close to 17, which would have been our number 2 last year.
Maybe I will say like the rebounds have gone down for Duren, but the points have gone up.
That's up too. What's he averaging? Like 15? Like 15 and 10 or 14 and 10 or something? 14-9?
Let's see.
We should talk a little bit about Jalen Duren while we're
almost 15 and 10 now. That's quite good. That's quite good. And 2+ stocks.
Mm-hmm.
2+ stocks and a dime. The turnovers have been a little problematic, but like you have a 15-10 guy who could kind of put up 20 and 10 on any given night. He could also give you 8 and 7 on any given night if the foul trouble is bad. But on Pulse, Bryce and Omari were talking about just like what a cool combo 1-2 punch at the center position Duren and Stu are, just because they're so different and they provide such different things and really like fill in each other's blanks in such a cool way. And
make it a 1-2-3 punch, a 1-2-3 combo with Paul Reed as the 2.
Let us not. Hey, one of these 5-game balls goes to him for sure,
without a doubt. Like I think there is an argument to be had that the Pistons have one of the best front courts, probably maybe a top 3 front court as far as 1-2-3 goes.
Or do you mean just center rotation?
Yeah. Not including a power forward. Power forward's a
right. But no, I mean the center rotation is really strong.
So like I think like people were kind of sleeping on Duren's offensive output, and like saying maybe he'll average like 10 points a game, but dude, we're up at almost 15, and not a lot of that is lobs because people are figuring out the lob. So he's getting these buckets from offensive putbacks or a little package he's got. He had a little jump shot from the top of the key, which was pretty sick. Like, yeah, there's offensive growth there on him.
Dude,
as far as the scoring goes.
When he just buckled down and called for the ball and just bodied Wendell Carter Jr. Because like, look, the Cavs was a blowout. I don't want to like make the Cavs game seem like it's going to be like oh, sometimes he just gives you 8 points. But like Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen are pretty elite at what they do. So that's tough. That's a really tough front court for anyone to contend with.
Everyone played bad in that game too. Like that,
for sure.
That was just overall bad. Cade came in injured. He had a bad night. Asar had to sit out part of the night with sickness. Like, it was ugly. They missed 19 shots in a row at one point, which was friggin' nuts. So,
but I say all that to say that, like, you saw against the Magic, just him say like, this guy can't guard me, and just plow his way to the rim, get to the line, knock him down at the line. By the way, there will be no Hakadurin in his career like that. I remember they tried to do that at some point last season, and it was like, he is not the one. I am sorry. Like this is not Andre Drummond, my friend.
I think people, because of how he started the season, he was shooting like 60 or 50% from the free throw line
last season.
Yeah. And then like at the end of the year, it got close to like 70. I'm like, this is the Duren I know. He's a good free throw shooter. And he continues to prove that he's
pretty automatic,
pretty damn good from the free throw line. So that's exciting for a lot of reasons. Like get your points, kid. Get your points. Get
and
up.
Get the other team in foul trouble, not by flailing, but because you're just too big. They're too small. They can't guard you.
We need a new Cade and Duran celebration. Instead of too small, they've got to have too strong. Just too strong, like a little kiss in the arm or something, because they are just way too strong. And so we've covered the young guys as far as this team go. We talked a little bit about Duncan. We talked about his offense, but before we get back to Duncan, let's give some credit to our true vet on this team, and that is Tobias Unk Harris, who had himself a night last night, 23 points. Serious buckets.
Well, that's what happens when you yap, Paolo. when you come at Unk, you best come prepared, because he took that personally. And look, do I wish Tobias was putting up better than 42-30 splits? Yeah, sure. But
what's he from the free throw line?
Ooh, I don't know.
100%.
Wow. But look, he's not the most skilled player in the league, but he knows the team needs him, especially now. And again, like with the exception of the Cavs game, he's been pretty great. And making defensive plays. At first, I thought it looked a little rough. I think some of the ways that he gets buckets is like a little slow, a little ball poundy, a little inefficient.
A little 8-bit, dare I say.
He's a really good cutter, though. He's a really good, or like a good driver. Maybe cutting is not the right term, but he's a really strong driver with a head full of steam, and he's a big body. He's our only true 4, really. So it's really nice to see him put up a 23-point game against the Magic last night. He had an 18-point game against the Celtics.
He's balling.
It's gonna be a year of Tobias Harris, guys. So if you don't like it, just buckle up. But it could be a lot worse, especially with like some of the hate that he gets league wide. It's really, I don't know, especially with the way the deck's been shuffled, like his leadership is pretty important right now.
We created the "Don't You Say That About My Boy" segment for Unk specifically.
Yeah.
Give it up for Tobias Harris. We're
shout out.
So shout out. Have you on the team, buddy.
Yeah. The past and future Piston, the past and present. He
got to come back one more time to be the
little Magic revenge game.
Okay. So short little amount of love for Tobias. Let's talk a little bit more about Karras and Duncan here, because I think that about Saul. I mean, we could talk Chaz Lanier too. Chaz comes in every once in a while. I think he got a 3 last night. That's pretty cool. Paul Reed, we talked about. He does good things. Danis has been fine. You know, these are like garbage time guys, or like fill in a pinch type guys.
Break glass in case of emergency kind of situation.
Right.
He had 2 threes against the Cavs, but yeah, that killer. As you said, that's garbage minutes.
But regardless of all of that, I feel fine. Like if they have to come in and play, I feel fine about either. It's not like, oh my God, it's over. But
right,
Duncan Robinson, Caris LeVert, it has been a ride, to say the least. And when Duncan is draining his shots, it's great. It's great. The other parts of the game is a little bit rough. He got the first ever that I've seen flopping technical.
Yeah, first time I've seen that in watching live, I think.
Pretty crazy.
That was pretty rough, and you can't even refute it. I remember we were talking about the signing, and we were just very happy, and like, look, we need him. Like right now, we need a capable volume shooter without THJ and Beasley. And I remember saying like, oh, he's 6'7", he's a good cutter, or at least I think he was in Miami. Like, how much worse could he be on defense than Beasley? And the answer is pretty significantly.
It's wild because Beasley was bad at defense.
Yeah, this isn't even this is pretty tough. This is pretty. He gets hunted really consistently, and it makes me just like, I get worried every time he's on the floor, because, you know, if he's not hitting threes, like how many points is he giving up on the other end? I really didn't like watching him double Paolo, because really it just involved him. And like, again, I'm not a huge X's and O's guy, but I just watched him like hedge, and neither impede Paolo nor like have enough space to get back to his guy on the perimeter. And it was just like clockwork, like over and over again, just like giving up an open guy, not making a defensive rotation. I will say, as all the other podcasts have said, we are 5 games into the season. Like, we are getting to know each other. We are figuring out how we operate. And he's limited on that end, no matter how you slice it. But yeah, it's been tough. It's not been good.
Here's what I'll say as far as Duncan goes, because what you have said has been objectively true. He's not playing the role he was intended to play. And I remember when Beasley had to fill in to be a starter for us last year, like that didn't look good either. It was some of Beasley's worst games, and he had the most minutes in those games. If Duncan is coming off the bench, if he's like your come in, get those threes, that's what you're meant to do type player, wonderful.
Yeah.
But when he's in your starting lineup and you got to depend on him this much, he might be playing the most minutes per game out of any Piston, pretty close to it at the very least. That's a tall ask for this guy who's new to the team and who's likely your worst defender on top of it. And I mean, this is part of the new to the team thing, but when you're new to the team, you don't know the defensive system all that much. You don't know who to like rely on and what the communication's like. And they don't know how to use you offensively, how to get you open, what sort of actions to run for you, where your shot's best. That stuff will take time. I'm sure it'll get better as the year goes on. And when it looks good, it looks good. That's great. Karis LeVert is the other player. He's like dilly-dallying with injury. He played last night. It was his first game back. I don't think he looked that great. I don't think he's looked that great so far. Like, I don't think he's looked like a better ball handler than Osar Thompson, right? So what's the point there? Hasn't really been making a shot. That's rough. The defense has looked pretty rough. I'm sure, again, this is just a question of haven't played a lot. You're coming back from injury, new system. Mickey, how are you feeling about the Karis LeVert situation?
My understanding of Karis LeVert going into this season, like not having watched him a ton, is that he is a like neutral defender who can get buckets. And like, if you're not getting buckets and you're just like a neutral defense, like I feel like I would rather
I don't even think the defense has been neutral. I think the defense has been bad.
I don't either. And I just like so much more of what I've seen from like Javonte Green, Asar, and Ron. And I like, you know, pending foul trouble. But like, you know what? Like there's a reality where, oh God, I don't know. I was just going to say like, maybe you start him instead of Duncan and just hope that teams respect what he can do from the 3-point line, like whether those shots fall or not. And just like, you know, any defense is better than Duncan's defense. And then Duncan can be in his better role of coming off the bench. But like, and who knows, maybe like on those perimeter, Cade kicks to him and he just like lets it fly and it looks better. But I don't know. I hope it's injury. I hope it's just like still getting acclimated, but it's not looking like a person that I want to give minutes to.
I'm with you there.
And it's not even like sorry to jump back in, but like Dennis Schroeder didn't shoot well for us when he played in the regular season either, but he was a distributor, a really skilled distributor, and he could defend smaller guards, quicker guards really well, like TJ McConnell's and Steph Curry's and Jalen Brunson's, you know. So like, if you're not doing, like, I understood that even though he was kind of like disappointing on a production, on a shooting level, but like, if you're not doing that and you're not playing that good a defense, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's a feeling of impact, and right now we just don't have it. We'll give it time for sure, but like right now, these guys almost feel like placeholder a little bit. Which I suppose they are. You know, they're not part of the core. So we'll see how it all goes. And again, we got to wait for Jaden Ivey to come back, who should be getting reevaluated pretty soon here. And even though we don't have medical experts. We do have subscriptions that you can sign up for. You should subscribe to
who
us.
needs prescriptions when you got subscriptions?
Yeah, that's right. Subscribe, turn on the notifications, all that.
Ding that bell, not at the pharmacy, but right here for the podcast. God damn it!
And like I said, we don't have access to medical professionals, but we do have plenty of access to mystical professionals in the form of the spooky season. The spooky season, Ouija board. Oh, it's already moved. Look at that. The spirits are already there. Hey, Ouija board, how you doing?
Wow.
Hell, Michigan related. Oh, it's still moving. I think we got
Hello. Okay. See, this is very on brand. This is spooky season. This is mystical prophecy stuff. So, we've given hot takes, we've given predictions, but now we're gonna just let the spirits answer our inquiries.
Sure. Mickey, do you have a question you want to kick off to the Ouija board and to potentially Hooper guiding it, or whoever's guiding it from beyond the physical realm?
Sure. Let's start with will the Pistons win the Emirates Cup? Is that the in-season tournament, the Emirates Cup?
Yeah, the NBA in-season.
It's getting started pretty soon. That
Tomorrow,
could be just something to help us gel. Let's see. Maybe that'd be something.
Who are the teams in our bracket? Too many people are asking the board right now. What?
Oh my! This is embarrassing.
Come on.
I think it starts with the Nets. Pistons schedule. Our grouping game is against. Okay.
Now, tell us the grouping game while it's doing the search.
Yes. First, it's the Nets, which I don't want to jinx it, but that should be a dub. Then we've got the Sixers, who are scary right now.
Hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out VJ Edgecombe, man. We know Maxi's a baller. We will not win that.
Oh, no.
I actually believe that. I actually believe that too. I mean, I started strong. Started strong. That's a lot has to go right. So we have the Nets, the Sixers, the Celtics, and the Magic.
It's so funny how the power has swapped in that, because we knew what the Nets were. We knew what the Celtics were. We thought the Sixers were probably going to be bad, and we thought the Magic were going to be sick. And now it's the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say, we've lost to bad Sixers teams before. So
yeah, that's true.
You and I have seen it firsthand, but it's a new season, like the things change, and that's actually kind of fun. But all right, you want to ask a question?
Sure.
That was a bad one.
That was a good one. Like I hope the Ouija board's wrong. It'd be cool to win it, so we have something to hang in the rafters, right? No shade to the Lakers, but do what you will. I want to know about Jaden Ivey. That's what I want to ask. Will Jaden Ivey continue to shoot plus 38% from deep on volume when he returns? %38 from deep. All right, let's find out. It's working here. We got a little juice, a little spin. What do you expect, Mickey? What do you expect from Jaden Ivey?
You said over
38%,
what from deep?
38%.
I think he can do that.
The Ouija board.
The Ouija board does not. The Ouija board is
what a juice.
Ouija of little faith. Wow.
What are some realistic expectations for you?
Okay. I got one. Will Asar make an all defense team?
Okay, but before I ask the Ouija board that, what are your realistic expectations for Ivy when he returns?
All-star. No, I think he can shoot like above 36 from deep for sure. Like even coming off the injury. I really want the turnovers down. Like that's really what I want. Like I don't expect a ton defensively, but like he certainly can't be any worse than Duncan. But I really just want like a capable shooter and playmaker next to Cade, just to take some of that pressure off and do things that, like, you know, just break down defenses with his speed and his attacking, get to the line. Like he really surprised me last season. Not that I don't think he's good, but just he looked great. And one of the things I love about Ivy too is he loves to punish defenses for going under the screen.
Oh yeah.
And does not hesitate to do that. And the shot looked really good.
Real nice. Looked.
What do you think about Ivy?
I think he could go over those numbers, and I like that. I think at a minimum he needs to go over 36%, and I think it's very, very important that he play well. Maybe not immediately when he gets back, but by the end of the season, he has to establish himself as a big time scoring threat. So what I want from Ivy is I want him to shoot well from deep, and I want him to have a score first mentality when he's out there. Like playmaking, sure. I need you to put the ball in the bucket. That's what I want, and that's what I hope from him. And as far that's opposite with Asar. I love Asar to be aggressive. I love this aggressive Asar that we're seeing right now. So let's ask the board, as you said, will Asar Thompson make the all defense?
This should be a yes, by the way. Barring injury, like this should be. This was kind of a softball as far as I'm concerned.
This is like a tester to see if the Ouija board is
a Lakers fan.
A Lakers fan. Okay, what are we doing here? We got some movement.
What the hell?
Are you kidding me, Ouija board?
You kidding?
This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. What would it take for him not to make the all defense team? Because he's already showing.
I don't even want to say it. No. I don't even want to say it. Something bad.
Put it out in there. All right. I'll ask you something else. Will the Pistons
tough customer, by the way,
make a trade for a starter? A starter.
Finnish starter.
Well, I don't care if it's him or not. We've talked about several players in general, players that Mickey and I like. He loves Miles Turner as like a potential player on this team.
I'm not saying, we were just talking about opportunity. We were just talking about.
Do you not want to bring that up? I think
well, because in that scenario we were talking about trading Jalen Duren for Miles Turner, and I don't actually think that's like necessarily a good idea. It was just, you were talking about going for Lowry, and I was like, his value's at an all-time high, and Miles Turner's might be at an all-time low.
For sure.
But I first of all, I don't think that's a smart trade. But it was like, you know what? If his value is low, like that really frees things up for Asar, who is clearly ascending. But like Jalen Duren's looking really good too.
He looks good.
Like I'm not proposing that, but we were just talking about like who, you know, if the two non-shooters thing becomes untenable, or if Cade needs a number 2 scorer with the Lowry thing. Anyway,
the Lowry thing, who knows? Oh my God. We finally get a yes here. So apparently,
what was that question, bro? Oh, we're going to get a trade for a starter.
A starter by the end of the year. So like, Lowry had a 51-point game and then a 31-point game. He's shooting the hell out of the ball from 3. Utah looks good. Like they're playing like 3 7-footers. It's kind of crazy, honestly, watching them play basketball. But like in that scenario, that would require Ivy going to or Duren. I mean, who knows if they wanted Duren over Walker Kessler, like how that would work out. But like that, and Tobias, who we just said Tobias is playing great, and he's like kind of been the veteran backbone for this team, or at least the veteran.
Well, especially if they wanted to rebuild and they wanted some senior leadership.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that would affect us negatively because Tobias.
Good for
He's been
us. great.
So it's like when you're making trades, sometimes when we're talking about trades, and like the value for the Lowry one pitched by the Ringer was Tobias, Ivy, Bobby Klintman, and 2 firsts, which might not be enough at this point. Who knows? But like, you're probably not getting somebody for like nothing, right? Like the Kevin Durant deal was a hell of a steal for the Rockets. They got rid of Jalen Green, so like, who knows how that goes? They made out like bandits, but like when I think about what Donovan Mitchell went for. What
I mean, he's also 37 years old.
Yeah, that's true. But he's
one of the best
scorers.
But I agree completely, and I'm a KD fan.
So. Right, and like when you look at what Bridges cost to come over, the trades can be expensive. So I'm concerned. We had the trade exception. The player, if we're talking about a player that I would love for the Pistons to trade for, and this is from a floundering franchise in Sacramento, it's Keon Ellis. Like the dude is barely getting rotation minutes right now. Sometimes he starts, but he doesn't play that many minutes overall. He's a 3-and-D 2. He's 6'6". That would fit very nicely on this team, if you ask me.
Yeah. Lord knows he's not appreciated over in Sacktown.
I had some Kings coming after us at Blue Sky saying send him to Detroit, and they're like, you don't talk about it that way. They stand for him. They just love him over there.
Well, I mean, I feel bad for Kings fans. For real. That sucks. Like why are you doing this Bulls West plus Russell Westbrook? Like they have young talent that they need to develop.
Yeah. They're doing everything they can to not do it. Wild stuff over there. Mickey, you have another question for the board?
Yeah, well, we couldn't get Asar on an all-defensive team. Can we get Stu on an all-defensive? Assuming he plays 20 or more minutes a game, which,
Beef Stu make all defense.
Because he's been
really so great. Good. He's been so good. Like
I feel like they just want to answer no to me.
I know, right? Yeah, I think you might be right about this being a Ouija. The J is just a backward L. LA board. Ouija. But
it's very like woo woo. Yeah, here we go. It's very no
woo,
one making
more boo boo.
That's what I say. That's what I say too. All right, what do you got? You got anything else? What can we expect?
I have one for the Ouija board. Are you just absolutely full of shit? This is why big tech's got to go.
I know.
Because this digital Ouija board.
The bigwigs who made this digital.
Friggin' Mark Zuckerberg's actually website right now. He's like just putting it over there.
Yeah, it says no.
No,
it says no. Biased much?
That's how we know it's full of shit. All right, that's absolutely
okay. We've heard. Wait. Can we do one more?
Yeah, we can do one more.
Will the Pistons make it to the second round of the playoffs?
All right. You've watched this team so far. What has to happen for this team to make it to the second round of the playoffs?
Ivy has to return and be really good, or we have to make a trade. Or just like the magic of last season where just like everybody gels and starts playing for each other. I will say for the Magic game, the ball moved really well. That's a no. That's another no.
Dude, fuck this board. We should never have gone back to the board.
That was my bad for asking. But yeah, I think a lot would have to go right, like either with this group of guys, or we have to shuffle the deck in some way. But like the ball was moving so much better against Orlando, and just like that movement and lack of stagnancy, even when you don't have a bunch of like marksmen out there, like guys finding an open man and just swinging and like playing together, like you saw it. And it's just the beginning. And I think it's important to bear in mind because it hasn't felt like the smoothest start to the season, but we started last season 0-4. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
So, all things considered, we're adapting to a new roster. We are out one of our starters and a couple other of our pieces, or like one other piece. But I think we should all just stay out of the overreactor. Just give it time. I will say, like, it might not be a trade for a starter, but I think if we are like deficient in our bench, or if we just have a need, I trust Trajan to go out and get it without like leveraging the future, unless it's like a person who can like have lasting impact on this team. I think he's really measured. I think maybe too measured, but I'd rather that than like impulsive. And I hope Goris doesn't just like throw a panic switch, because I saw him like give an interview in the Freep, I think, where he was talking about how like we have to win. And it's like, all right, like I understand. Nobody wants to regress. I don't want to regress. Do you want to regress, Harry?
No, absolutely. I don't want to regress.
No, but also he's approved moves that seem like the fix-it option, whether it's Blake Griffin or Monty Williams, that don't work out in the long run, even if they seem like a quick fix.
Oh yeah, I think in order to make the playoffs, you're right. I think Ivy has to come back and play well, or he has to get exchanged for someone who will do that. I also think Cade's turnovers have to go down. I mean, we saw how well the results are when Cade goes down. I mean, when his turnovers go down. But I think with Ivy back or with a secondary score ball handler on top of that
option, whatever, yeah,
like a second scoring option, your second go-to guy, because right now the second go-to guy almost seems like Tobias, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But like if you get like a high-end second scoring option, a Robin, as people say, in that world, I think the turnovers will go down kind of significantly. And the third element is we just have to keep seeing this development from Asar and Ron. Like their development's insane.
I think not just because of their verticals. I think sky's the limit on that. And like one thing I hope for Ivy, obviously he has to come back from injury and like his health is the main priority. But once he is 100%, I just like really need him to keep his foot on the gas. Because sometimes he's really aggressive and sometimes he's really passive. And so really Cade just needs someone to like pressure defenses, get into the paint, shoot, punish, like be a threat on the perimeter. Like it just has to be like kind of a night in, night out thing.
Yeah. Be another leak in the dam of the defense that they have to put their finger in. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like that. I like that image. I like that image.
I think I told you I'm a hole poker. Is that right?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. With consent.
Consensual hole poker.
They say. Ask anybody. Ask anybody who knows it.
Well, don't ask anybody, but ask people.
Yeah.
There's some people to ask. So I've unplugged the Ouija board. I flipped it over. That's gone. That thing was straight trash. I can't
bury it like Jumanji. I think you got it. That's no good to anybody.
There's got to be more. That can be done. Put in a wood chipper, if it's at all possible. So on that note, that's all we got. We have our next game is a home game tomorrow in Mexico City at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Is it tomorrow or is it Saturday?
Isn't it tomorrow? Am I wrong?
Hold on. I thought it was Saturday. Let me check. I gotta know for my own life.
You might be right. Actually, I think you are. It's Saturday. It's Saturday at 10 p.m.
Okay.
So my bad.
And Mexico.
In Mexico against the Dallas Mavericks without AD. I think AD left with injury. I think he might be out. We'll see. So we get to see some Cooper Flag action. That'll be fun. I suppose Dallas hasn't looked great so far, but who has at this point? Not many. The Chicago Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls. The Warriors, yeah.
Oh, and of course, we'd be remiss not to mention the San Antonio Spurs, who have the most dominant on the court that may have ever existed. Like I remember when Shaq first started dominating the league in like the 90s, and I was like, there will never be anything like this. This is so fucking incredible. This is Shaq on steroids. This is so fucking nuts watching Wemby play. It's absolutely outrageous.
It really is. I'm scared. We should all be scared. And Dylan Harper's really good too. There's been some really impactful rookies, and he's one of them. Yeah. And cool thing about Dylan Harper, models his game after Cade. Cade is his favorite player. He wears number 2. Pretty cool. The
kid's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to end the same way we always do, which is by saying the OOBH acronym for the Blazing Horse, because that's how a horse would say it anyway. So don't forget to like, subscribe, set the alarm so you're here for the next time. Have a happy Halloween, a safe Devil's Night. If you're listening to this right now, like a maniac, woo-woo, boo-hoo, boo-boo. And as always, I have been Harry.
And I'm Mickey.
Man, we went long on that.
Yeah, we like to talk about the Pistons, dude. Do you get trick-or-treaters?
No.
That's cool.
We live. You were at my house, right? For
I guess everything's spaced out a little bit.
like I live in a pretty rural, big old area, if you will. So
That's true.
it's like it's a dangerous street to be walking on at night.
Yeah, I get that.
Man, that Ouija board really fucked me up.
That was
dude.
pretty bad. I thought it was gonna be like kind of every other.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was gonna be like 55. It was like really. It's almost like it knew what we were asking and it really didn't want to give it to us.
Maybe we should have asked for the good news or the bad news in a good way, and it wouldn't sound so bad.
I wonder if